Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks with Ben and Josh, streaming on the one and only Kirk Minahan Show Network, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and of course, Rumble. Timeout Talks is brought to you by Chase and Throws Custom T-shirts and accessories, the Ice Shaker, Make It Mac, and of course, we are proudly a part of the Kirk Minahan Show Network. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We are back after a little couple week hiatus here. We're back. We're off and running. We've got a lot to talk about. I know you Cowboy haters want to hear from me. Steelers 6-2. My Yankees down 0-3 in an absolute battle tonight. I mean, they are fighting for lives, trying to keep their season alive. Banger of a UFC 308 card. Ben, we've got so much to kind of talk about tonight, but let's start things off with UFC, Ben. Great fight. Great fight in that main event.
Yeah, man, Josh. I mean, Holloway versus Ilya, that was always just set up to be a great little battle between them. And Max had him early. You know, he had a little bias towards Max, I won't lie, as always. But, he had him those first couple rounds. He kind of shocked him a little. I didn't see it live, Josh. I was kind of in the car at that moment. I had to watch the highlights. I watched the beginning of the card, the prelims and all that. But I had to just watch the StatCast until I was able to watch the highlights. But Max had those first couple rounds. He was piecing them up. And he was really just sort of outboxing Taporia. He never really seen that before in his career, but he bounced back, Josh, and got him in that third. He's just a beast. Just him and I'll say Chimaev because I don't want to butcher his name. I don't want to do him that. Yeah, Hazmat. I always go Hazmat, but I want to do him justice. Those two guys. We already knew they were the next big guys up, Josh, and I think they solidified it right there. Chimaev just submitting Robert Whitaker like that, just controlled the whole first round, just brought him on the ground and never really looked back after that. So it was two guys right there. I think they just solidified themselves as the next up-and-coming stars. Everyone already kind of knew it, but Chimaev hasn't really fought in a while. And Topuria is his first title defense, obviously, so we were a little more sure of him. This is more of Chimaev, but I was excited to see that. And like you said, Josh, just a great overall card. I think it was a very solid UFC. Nothing too splashy, just obviously those two great fights. Leroy Murphy really showcased himself out there. I know everyone loves Danny Gay, Jimmy. That's Jimmy's guy. But
good fill-in fighter. Yeah,
good fill-in fighter. He always accepts a great point right there, Josh. He always accepts anything. I think he literally accepted a day of one time. So
impressive.
He was looking good too, but Murphy just another great prospect in the featherweight division, just really showcasing he's the next in line too over there. So it was an overall great card. You got to give a shout out, not a total shout out. I didn't really like how this fight ended, but it was just one of one of the bloodiest fights. I was trying to find the best way of wording it, and I think that is the best way of wording it. The Rebic versus Orlobai fight. It's probably one of the most violent fights. It was on the prelim I've ever seen. Those guys just went at it for 3 rounds. Rebic won that one in a brutal one. I don't know how the ref didn't stop it. The guy's covered in blood, just on the ground getting beat down, and he didn't stop it. The UFC refs, Josh, I don't know. I feel like they've been a little rough of late. Same with the judges, so probably should clean that up. The UFC, definitely the judges. I just want to throw that one in there, but the refs too a little. I don't know. There's some early stoppages and some fights where they haven't stopped it. Where I said that guy's pretty much done for. I think they should call it. That was one of them. But they didn't, and they let him go on for 3 rounds. It was a brutal one, but it was probably one of the craziest fights I've seen to date. So overall, solid card of the theme. I'm just excited I'm looking at some of these other ones, Josh. We got a little while. Magny versus Paredes is going to be a good one. Carlos Paredes is a nice up-and-coming fighter, but it's just 309 time. John Jones, Stipe, Oliveira, Chandler. It's just time for that. It was a great card, but it's what I'm looking forward to now, Josh.
I couldn't agree with you anymore. And I think just looking at what's to come, you see Hamzat, as you mentioned, Chimaev, just absolutely taking down Robert Whitaker. And as a Dreykus fan, I'm not looking forward to that matchup. That's the one matchup you don't want if you are Dreykus, Duplessis. And I think he might have. I think he has to deserve that title fight, Ben. I don't know. That's just how I feel on that. And Topuria, as you mentioned, looks like they're going to be kind of shaping up for another little rematch there with Volk and Topuria. But you're telling me 2 knockouts to Volk, and you come in and knock out one of the BMF champion at one point, one of the best pound for pound strikers in all of UFC that I've ever seen. I know a lot of people have ever seen. Highly touted Max Holloway, who just put Gaethje on the floor. I mean, Ilya Topuria, and no disrespect to Holloway, he put on a good fight. He did what he could do, but I mean, talk about cementing your legacy and just really pushing that title run, Ben. But and as to your point for the Stipe and John Jones, will this be John Jones's last fight? I know Aspinall's kind of hanging in the weeds. I know you touched on that a little bit, but good little fight card there. Great fight card that happened. I wasn't too impressed with that Reiki and Ankalaev fight. I got a little bored of that, but and a quick little shout out to Shara. I mean, Ben, this guy, I know James says it all the time. He can't fight in the US because he can't get sanctioned. He can only get sanctioned in like, what is it, like Colorado or something weird or some type. I don't even know if he can get sanctioned to fight in. Yeah, it's some strange thing. I know he's blind in one eye, but hey, he's making light work of his fights too. And yeah, shout out to Dan Ige for that, but just not enough for Leron Murphy. And nice little interesting knockout. Dos Anjos getting knocked out by, I believe it was Jeff Neal. Yeah, not expecting that one. So
he needed to bounce back, so that was good
for sure. So I mean, to come forward though, Ben, it's all about that Stipe John Jones fight, and as you mentioned, this might have been a better fight a couple more years ago, but hey, what are you gonna do? And
we'll take it now.
We'll take it.
Yeah, no, it's good. And like I said, we'll take it now. No, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm just looking at some of these other ones. I mean, you got Bo Nickel on there versus Paul Craig. I think he's gonna kill him. It's going to be an easy one, just another, I mean, that's no offense to Paul Craig. He's a submission guy, so he's probably going to give Bo Nickel trouble in that one. It would be interesting to see how he can really go at it with his first real grappler. He's been kind of just fighting landscapers and not too the cream of the crop from the UFC, but I mean, Paul Craig's really not the best, but that grappling background will be a little interesting to see how he combats that, but overall, it's just John Jones time, Josh. Like I said, it's just really, let's just see if this is his last fight, and let's just see what he looks like. We've been waiting for a while, and I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, me too. And this could be his last fight. I mean, yeah, November. It's November something. November. What's it? Is that UFC 309? November 16th, Saturday. That'll be a good one. John Jones, as you said, Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, good little co-main. Two last fights kind of catch my attention as they. Oh, well, yeah, Bo Nickel, as you mentioned. Yes, I mean, Chris Weidman. Yeah, that is actually, yeah. As you mentioned, I completely forgot you even said that. Yeah, interesting card there. That's kind of what we look forward to for the UFC. But just switching gears here, Ben, I know we're trying to get to a lot of different things. It's done. I know you guys probably wanted my authentic takes before, and I was all high on the Yankees. And I mean, I want to be tonight. I mean, honestly, I'm going to put it like this, and I'm going to turn it over to Ben. They kind of breezed through the AL, which the Astros were the one team that I was kind of worried about. Same with the Orioles. They don't get matched up with them. They take down the Guardians. They make easy work of them. You know, do their thing against the Royals. Royals kind of gave them a little battle, but again, Yankees, as expected, you know, they finally, within terms of the AL, guys finally stepped up. You know, Stanton, unbelievable. Judge, we'll get to him. But guys finally stepped up. Gleyber Torres was unstoppable in the leadoff spot. You had Rodon was pitching out of his mind. Clark Schmidt had a great couple outings. Garrett Cole been solid all postseason. And then finally they meet this juggernaut of the Dodgers. Game 1, I'm sitting there, I'm watching it with Tyler, and I am just absolutely – I laughed. I mean, it's a walk-off home run, terrible, probably some of the worst managerial decisions I've ever seen. And I'm not going to blame him for this whole series because Aaron Judge, your biggest star, has gone completely missing, and that is terrible. Terrible. You talk about Dak Prescott, talk about Aaron Judge. Both these guys in the regular season show up. Then when it comes to the postseason, they don't. I said this to Jose. He's a big Yankees fan. He's been on the show before. I said, Giancarlo Stanton, I trust him more up to bat, who can't even run around the bases well. His job is literally just to bat. I trust him more than I trust Aaron Judge in this postseason right now. The Yankees are in deep trouble, Ben. I think they're going to pack their bags tonight. I would like to say that they have a chance to win, but no Cole on the mound. He's the only person who can give us a chance. You know, you put Nestor Cortez out there who hasn't pitched in about 37 days. Mind-boggling decision. I mean, Freddie Freeman basically said, screw you. You're going to walk me. I mean, you're going to walk Mookie Betts. That's totally fine. You don't trust me. I'm just going to completely own you guys. And that's what he's done this postseason. Their guys have balled out. Ohtani's been great. Tommy Edman, they went out and got him in the postseason. I mean, the trade deadline. I can keep going, Ben. Kike Hernandez, these role players are stepping up, and we're seeing guys like the Yankees. They can't get a hit off Walker Buehler, who's coming off a shaky season, going all the way into the fourth, fifth inning. It's just unbelievable, completely unprepared for this World Series from the get-go. Game one was your game to change, game to steal, excuse me. They didn't steal it. Walk-off home run just kind of sucked the momentum out of them and just completely left everybody in New York dazzled. They're going to get swept tonight, Ben.
Yeah, I was doing my classic lagging, I think, in the beginning of your speech right there, but I believe you said it too. Yeah, it's over. I'm going to agree with you on that one. I was surprised to hear you say it a little. I thought you'd still have a little hope, Josh, but no. I can totally agree. I can totally see where you're coming from. It was just that first game was just so deflating. I mean, obviously, it's just Nestor Cortez too. I mean, I don't know whose move or decision that was. As you pointed out, the 30 days.
Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone's gonna go. He's obviously not a hot take for me on that one, but sweep, no sweep, he's just gonna go. I felt like either one of the managers, Dave Roberts or him, whoever lost this series is pretty much just out of town. Loser leaves town in that scenario. I mean, just these teams with both so much amount of talent, especially the Yankees just in this one. The Yankees just falling short every time. I love it. I know Josh doesn't love it. I love seeing it, but he kind of alluded to it too. It's just these extra base hits. I think the Dodgers are, I heard the stat sports there. I forgot the exact total, but they're doubling them in extra base hits, and it's just, it's just no wonder they're winning this series. They're just putting more runners in scoring positions, and they're exexecuting it. The Yankees just aren't getting the hits. Judge is, I think he's going to hit. I don't know if he's
put the sword down.
yeah. I just don't know. Does he have a hit yet, Josh? Does he?
He does. He does have a hit. He got one last night.
I forgot. I saw they were up 3-0. So, see, look at that. There we go.
Welcome, Ricky. Swept. Welcome, Nick. Get the brooms.
Yeah, get the brooms. We gotta celebrate in this one as the Red Sox fans, but I was just expecting a little more of a fight from these guys, especially last game. I mean, once I saw that 3-0, I said, all right, this is pretty much over. It's just there's no fight from them. They just don't want it. They don't want it as much as the Dodgers, unfortunately. As we just pointed out, Aaron Judge not showing up, and it just stinks. For them, it doesn't really stink for me, but I'm loving it. But really no win. I mean, the Dodgers, I don't really care about the Dodgers winning either. So it's it's kind of lesser of the evils right now, Josh. So I'm unfortunately gonna have to take the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean it's. That's fair. I get that as a Red Sox fan. You're watching a lot of former Red Sox players, and you're probably like, "Damn, what the hell? Dodgers paid all this money." You've got Verdugo. You got Kike Hernandez. You've got obviously Mookie Betts. A little history there. Last time you guys played them in the World Series, so yeah. I mean, that's a whole other story too. I mean, that's yeah. And I think honestly, listening to New York radio today, like just kind of getting people's like authentic takes on it, and we're gonna wrap up here in a couple minutes on the World Series, but we'll go. Well, don't worry, Ricky. We will get there. We'll get there to my Cowboys, and hey, Ben, we got to give Ben some airtime for his Steelers before we get to our picks. But yeah, just kind of closing thoughts on this. Like you look at everything Ben said, like they're ball players. They're playing like Mookie Betts is what I would say everything you want in a ball player. A+ fielder, A+ attitude, A+ runner, A+ batter, like A+ baseball IQ. I'm not seeing that from the stars on the Yankees. Soto stepped up big. I can't blame Stanton. I mean, he's done more than enough. He's really put this team on his back in big moments. I mean, really been big this postseason. I'm not going to blame him, but Boone, I mean, they just own us in everything. Dave Roberts is better. They have the better player out of the two. Ohtani is better. I think their duo is better than our duo. And I think you could even make the argument, and I know everybody's going to get on my case, but I think I would take Mookie Betts over Juan Soto. And again, I'd still pay Juan Soto. I'm not saying like don't pay Juan Soto. I don't want this to get misconstrued, but these guys are ball players. And I listened to Yankees radio, and they were totally right. You look at Tommy Edman, you look at Kike Hernandez, you look at those role players, the Max Muncies, the Freddie Freemans, they go out, they play. They're not worried about what's going on. It's not the antics. It's not about the media. It's just they go out, they play, they put this money into this baseball team. It's working. And with the Yankees, it's kind of like that Dallas thing where it's like all the drama of Judge not doing well and, the head coaching decisions looming over them. And they just looked more prepared from the get-go. They're the better team, the better manager. And it's just shown from the very beginning, Ben. That's my last take on that. But Yankees, if they win tonight, would be great. I'd always have a chance with Garrett Cole on the mound. Don't know why he's not pitching tonight. Another tough spot for a manager to be in, and I'm not going to blame Boone too much for that. But if you win tonight, which my hopes are very low, you have a chance. But with Garrett Cole on the mound to maybe push it back to LA, I mean, I don't know, Ben. I've had enough with it. Just I'm ready for the off season, as crazy as it is. Just win a game. I don't know, one step at a time.
Yeah, one game.
I can't even.
For morale support, just one game for the season to. Well, it's obviously going to end on a bad note, I think. But I know we can all say goodnight, as Lewis said. But you like to just get one win. One win in front of the home crowd and to send it back to LA and just to face the inevitable doom of that one. But as you said, Josh, the Edmonds and the Kikes of the Dodgers are getting it done. And, the bottom guys of your lineup, Volpe and I don't know how many times I've seen Volpe strike out or just leave runners in scoring position. This guy stinks.
He's been bad.
I mean, Gleber, he hasn't really been good too much either. I kind of just dissecting some of these guys. I can't really say too much, as Josh has seen them a little more throughout the season. But I'm seeing some of these bottom of the lineup guys, and they're just leaving so many runners in scoring position, leaving so many runs out there, and it's just not gonna be able to beat a Dodgers team that's so star-studded.
Just to your point, Ben, they left 11 guys on base game one. That's gonna hurt you. I mean, you're not. Game one was the nail, and I know it's like crazy to say, but you needed to steal one. Dodgers came out ready game two, and just to Ben's point, like these bottom, these role player guys like Gleyber Torres was. I mean, yeah, Gleyber Torres was great in the first round and the second round, and then he's really kind of cooled down. And yeah, I think they've just ran into a beast. The Dodgers, they're going to do it, as much as it pains me to say. Ohtani's going to get his ring and everything. I'm going to have to listen to, the greatest baseball player of all time. It is what it is. It's going to happen. And unless an absolute miracle, the Yankees somehow, a hero emerges, that they'll then, but
that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. We're running out of time here, but let's get to as much as we can. Ben, there's so much to kind of talk about here. Your Steelers, Justin Fields is not playing. I'm starting with the Steelers. I'll throw everything on the table for you. The Steelers have been great. Russell Wilson looks amazing. They're winning games. They're leaning on defense. Cowboys, so many issues. They're not going to make the playoffs. And I think I'm going to come on this show right now to give Ben his flowers, because through 8 weeks, pretty much half the season right now, this is perfect. Ben said the Commanders were going to be first. They're first right now. They look the best. The Dallas Cowboys don't look like they're going to make the playoffs. They didn't address any issues. They're overrated. We stink. It's not our year. Whatever you fans want to say, throw it at me. And James will say it's a pity party. It's not a pity party. You can walk around the Stephen A. Smiths. You enjoy it. You deserve it. You were right. The Cowboys stink. Dak's average. Go ahead. Throw it in my face. That's fine. But just a lot of exciting moves, Ben. 49ers back on track. Lions absolutely pantsing us, and they look like a dominant team. Chiefs can't lose a game. Ravens go out and make a very aggressive trade. They go out and get Deontay Johnson, your former guy. I want to hear your thoughts on that. But Ben, right now, I'll throw all that kind of out at you right now. But right now, you're 6-2. Are you a legitimate contender? I threw a lot out at you, but who? I'll tell you right now, and then I'll turn it to you. Chiefs, Bills, Ravens are my three. Fringe Texans are the three legitimate contenders in the AFC. Flip it over to the NFC. I'm going to throw you a curveball here. I think the Lions could get bounced. and this isn't because they beat us, this isn't anything. I think that they could get upset by a certain team that they're very familiar with in the playoffs. We'll get to that a little later, but Lions are a legitimate team, and then it's kind of just who's next in the NFC. Maybe Ben's Commanders, but Ben, I'll turn to you.
That's a good point. That pretty much just describes it perfectly. The NFC right now, it's Lions. Then who's up next? It's pretty much maybe the NFC North battle. I think maybe what Josh is alluding to, maybe a Vikings Packers upset. Maybe we'll see from Josh later on that one because those teams are still looking really great. Packers had a nice. I know Jordan Love got a little banged up, but they had a nice little comeback. Well, comeback and sustaining win against the Jags. They stopped them with that late fourth quarter comeback from the Jags that they were trying to do. So the Packers staying on track, and the Vikings. The Vikings are still pretty. The Vikings still have a good record up there. I know they've been showing some signs of weakness and everything, but I mean, hey, Sam Darnold is still looking good, still looking like he can lead them to victories in crucial moments. So it could be anybody in the NFC, but yeah, I think it was Lions, then the rest, Josh. But starting with the question, I think the Steelers. This is the lame answer, but this is the test. I do think we're right there. I think we're on the cusp of being legit contenders, but I said before the season, this is it. We're on our bye week right now. We were supposed to get as many wins as we could before this stretch, and we did. We went 6-2. I was harping on this Cowboys loss. I still don't really know how we lost to the Cowboys. That one's not looking too good right now. Sorry, Josh, but we really would like to be 7-1 on that one. But this is it. We got the bye. Now we got literally every single division game. We got Ravens twice, Bengals twice, Browns twice. Sandwich the Chiefs, Eagles in there, and throw the Commanders in there too. I mean, another division leading team. So this is it, Josh. You said it perfectly. The first 8 games halfway through the season, we showed what we are, and we decided finally on Russell Wilson. I think this is a great move. I was a little hesitant at first. Everyone knows that, but. Yeah. He's really shown me something in these 2 weeks. He can just be sort of. I liked how the 98.5 guy said it. He's kind of playing that Peyton Manning role in that Broncos Super Bowl team. Just get the ball, don't turn it over. He's being a little more exciting than Peyton Manning that year. I think Russell's got a little more juice. Yeah, I think he's got a little more juice than Payne did that year. But, he's just don't turn the ball over. Get the ball to the playmakers. Najee, George Pickens, Freiermuth, Jalen Warren's back and healthy, and just let the defense do the job. Let the defense be the best part of this football team. And they're proving it. I mean, TJ Watt's just every single game doing something I haven't seen before. So it's just amazing to watch out here. But this is the true test, Josh. This is it. This second half is going to be the gauntlet. And
wow.
They got to do this. I got to agree with Tony on this one. They just got to. Jerry just needs to relax, too. Jerry just needs to step back because. This Cowboys team, I don't know. I was a rough 49ers one. I know I'm transitioning fast, but it's just, I don't know why they got to wait till the fourth to play. And, obviously, 49ers defense lessens up the schemes. They're definitely not pressing them as hard, but it's just like, where was that effort? Where was all this motivation? The first 3 quarters. Dak, I know you said Dak was average, and I'm going to give him a little above average. He could still get the ball to CD. He can still get the ball downfield. He can still make plays. It's just there's no urgency with this team this year, Josh. There's just nothing. There's no motivation for them. It doesn't seem like they got paid, and I don't know. Maybe Dak's focused. Dak just got engaged. Maybe he's focused on the marriage a little more, but planning the wedding. I just don't know what this Cowboys team. They have the weapons. Injuries obviously have cost them a little, but I think. You said it as well. They just didn't really address any of the problems they really needed to. They kind of just painted it over a little. With some money to Dak and CD and said, let's just try to see if these guys can fix it on their own. And they can't. Obviously, Micah, like I said, injuries, Micah being out, that's going to be a huge deal for the Cowboys. And that's going to be a huge blow for the defensive side. Losing a guy like Dan Quinn, obviously coach, but just sort of a leader on that side. Yeah,
true.
Right. He's
true.
Really, he's really. I mean, he's yelling at radio.
Might
hosts.
Be true too.
Yeah, he's yelling at radio hosts. He's trying to get them fired. He just needs to relax. He needs to take a step back because he really is kind of stepping into that little old age territory, Josh. I don't know. He just needs to let Stephen Jones do his thing.
And I know we might go a little over, but I think this
Brooklyn's
is
my
right.
upset.
I think this is right. I think it's come. James asked me a really interesting question the other day, just normal, like wasn't trolling. He said, "Do you think Dak can win you a Super Bowl?" And I don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough spot, man. Like I get paying him, I don't. I get not, but it looks real bad. Everything's bad right now, Ben. Perfect analogy. They had a bunch of problems. They tried to address it by just painting over it. I like that. That one will stick with me. It's true, and it's real frustrating because they should be good, but a lot of they're just not. Like they're just not. They're too top heavy, and I'm not going to go too long with it, but they're not. In the 49ers own us. Another team to kind of watch out for if they get healthy in that conference. But moving forward, let's get to some. And again, again, when we have more time, we'll be back as this season goes. Now we'll be back for more. We have a couple hiatuses there, but we'll get to into it a little more. But this is Ben's flowers. I should have named the podcast episode this today. This is his flowers.
Go Commanders.
He's happy about the Commanders. Cowboys aren't good. Yankees are losing. But all right, we're gonna move a little forward. Since we're talking about them, we'll just do it now. Cowboys at Falcons. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. They're gonna lose. I don't think the Falcons are a more legitimate team, and I'm going to do this every week. Like I really am going to do this every week. I don't think that they're good. They have a lot of issues. They haven't addressed anything. The coaching is a disaster, an absolute disaster. Ownership is a disaster. It's all trickled down. Like Chris Collinsworth said, like Dak can't run the ball anymore. Like they are really, really riddled. We're in real trouble. Real trouble. We need like real help. It's not going to come this weekend. We're still getting reinforcements back at some point, but Dallas Cowboys lose this game. They're going to go 3-5, and it's going to be full panic mode. They need to make some crazy pull off some type of trade to even salvage their season. It's bad. It's a funeral for me, and yeah, it's just not going to happen. Rico, like he sees Emmett, it's not going to happen. Falcons win by 14, Ricky, and take the over, Anthony, Tony there. But yeah, I take Falcons over Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know about the 14 from Ricky on that one. The Cowboys always know how to make it close. They always know how to cover. Like you saw in that 49ers game, they'll keep it close. I'm not too much talking like Josh, like it's a funeral from Chi on that one. But they're going to lose. They're going to lose to this Falcons team. Falcons team got a nice back on track win against the Bucks. They need all the wins they can get. In that close division, I know Godwin and Mike Evans are injured and all that, but Mike Evans will be back, and Baker's still not too. Baker, I think he's still looking pretty good over there in the Bucks. And the Saints obviously getting Derek Carr back healthy this week. It's looking like so that division's tightening up a little. I think the Falcons need this win too, so I think they're gonna stay on track and get this win over the Cowboys. Sorry, Josh. Dak's gonna be better though. I see a big fantasy day. I know he said take the over, but I see a big fantasy day from everyone over there in the dome.
I hope so. I mean, they, like you said, they're so much garbage time from CeeDee Lamb and Dak, like you said. And I read nothing into that. I read nothing into last week. And CeeDee Lamb, too. Everybody talks about Dak, but he's not on my good side right now as well. Patriots at the Titans. This is an interesting game here. I'm going to say Titans do win it. I think at home, I don't know what the situation is with Drake May. I know he's kind of hurt and banged up. They got embarrassed last week, the Titans. I think that they're going to try and salvage something. They've got good players. Close game. This game could go either way. Don't hold me to this. I'm just going to take Titans. They're at home. I don't know what Drake May's situation is. I think the Patriots were smart. You don't play him. Just don't rush or ruin anything with this kid. He looks pretty legit from what I've seen in my eye test. I got the Titans at home, close game, really low scoring. I'm going to say like 13-10. I'm going to throw something weird at you there. 13-10 Titans win.
Oh, yeah. Listen, with the Pats, always go with the under in the scoring, and just the Pats really don't put too many offensive numbers up there. But I agree with you, Josh. Yeah, Drake May does look like the real deal. Just got to get him an offensive line, a couple more weapons that actually can catch the ball for the receivers over there in New England. But I'm going with the upset. I'm going with the upset in the Patriots. This is going to be my upset of the week too, Josh. I'll tie it in there. I don't really like saying it, but I got to take them. The Patriots, nice little win over the Jets, kind of demoralizing. pretty much ending their season. Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers it was what an awful performance from him. I don't know what's going on with him. Gets everything he wants, and they still stink. So I was pretty happy to see them lose. But another team that's just even worse, the Titans. Yeah, they got some good pieces. Me and Josh were talking about before the show. I mean, Will Levis isn't awful. You got Ridley, Pollard. You got some good pieces on the defensive side, but this team just can't get out of their own way. Just get blitzed by the Lions last week. I just don't see them beating the Pats. I know Mason Rudolph had his little couple moments in there, but I think this Pats defense is going to get to him. You know, I think Mason Rudolph's coming back down to earth, and I think the Pats get another. I think the Pats get back-to-back wins, and I think they're going crazy in Gillette.
Wow, Ben's upset
Crazy.
of the week. Crazy.
Titans just stink, Josh. They just stink.
Since we're going on this sentiment, I'm gonna reverse the tape back. Everybody's all Lions. Again, Lions. I'm not saying Lions are legit. They're the number one. They're the best team in the NFC right now. I think they're a little better than their Commanders. Commanders are just young. That's not to their fault. They've been great. I don't want to ruffle any feathers, especially Ben's, because the Commanders have been great. I'm not saying that they might win that division too, but I look at this. I look at the Lions, and I just something's missing. I don't know what it is. I know it's crazy for me to say. I don't know what it is, but I saw this Green Bay Packers team upset us last year, and it's just something about them I like, I respect. I think that they're going to win this game at home. They're the underdog. It's a big divisional game. I think the Lions kind of need that gut punch, need that reality check. They've been just blowing teams out, just exposing my Cowboys, exposing the Titans, as you mentioned. I think Jordan Love, he's finally getting back on track here. He will throw that ball. He's like Brett Favre. They talk about, Aaron Rodgers. He's like Brett Favre, man. He will throw for 4 touchdowns and 3 picks. As long as he gets that win and he leads them to some good wins, it happens. I like what I see out of Jordan Love. I think they're a nice, tough, tenacious, sneaky team. I think this is a divisional game in Green Bay. I think they're going to get the win. That's my upset of the week, being the Green Bay Packers. I don't know why I have the Patriots Titans sticker up there, but that's what I got. Green Bay over Lions. And Ben always finishes off the show, so I'm going to go quickly here. I'm going to rattle off 2. This is, in my opinion, the second best team in the AFC. Jared's going to love this one. They're at home. The Buffalo Bills are my lock set of the week. Slam it. Shut the door. Pound it. They took my guy, Amari Coop. To the coop we go, Jared, wherever the hell Jared says. Coop to the hoop. I don't know what it is, but I like that. I like that he went there. I'm happy that he went to a legitimate team. They're gonna dominate, as they always do. They always have the Miami Dolphins number. That's my lock of the week. I feel super confident about it. As always, want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week for some more. Big election night next week too. We might be going head to head with the election, which is going to be kind of funny. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Tony likes that one. These two will see each other in the playoffs for sure. That'll be a good one. I kind of lean the Packers. I think they might have something there for that. But hey, Lions proved me wrong. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I'm going to leave it like this before I turn it over to Ben. Tonight, we pack our bags, and in solidarity, we stand. The Yankees. They're done.
It's over for Josh and them. Might have to agree with him. Not unfortunately for him, but I see. There we go, G. That's what I was more so getting at there. Timeout talks against the election. Let's see who's going to win that one. But overall, Josh, for my lock of the week, I'm just going to throw it out there too. Ravens over Broncos. Going to make it nice and easy. Who cares about that one? Listen, get back game for the Ravens after that tough Browns one. But as always, appreciate everyone for tuning in and listening. We'll be back next week. We'll be competing with the election, but everyone go vote as well. And Josh, it's going to be tough for you. Cowboys losing. Yankees getting swept, but we all can agree on something right now. Celtics revenge tour, Josh. Let's go Celtics. Shout out Payne Pritchard. Keep going undefeated.